Hey, JSauce, Jekyll here, and today we're gonna talk about— oh my god! Resident Evil 3 is overrated. Yeah, okay, I know, I'm probably gonna piss a few people off with this video. That's cool, whatever. I'm not a reviewer, I have no credibility, I'm just some dumb asshole on the internet who has way too much free time on his hands. You can argue with me, you can agree with me, honestly I don't care, because today, I feel like being petty. Because man, I was pumped to play this game. I didn't get to experience all the classic Resident Evil games. I didn't really care about them because I kind of watched them as a kid. My buddy Benny played them, but I was a baby shitterton kid who was afraid of all sorts of horror stuff, so I fucked off there and I didn't want to look at it anymore. The first one I actually played was RE7 and I fucking adored that, so then I kind of thought to myself, you know, eventually I'm gonna give this whole series a try. I'm digging this style. And then when RE2 Remake got announced, I was fucking pumped, brother. I was excited. I was ready to go. I saw Leon's glistening, beautiful hair, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm in. I'm ready. I waited patiently, and throughout all the waiting, I found like a lot of things about Resident Evil online. I was excited to check out things about a series I was planning on getting into, and something really surprised me after looking at all this stuff on the internet. Apparently, Resident Evil 3 was king shit. That's the good shit. Some people loved 2, some people loved 4, but Resident Evil 3 fans were fucking loud, man. They wanted their remake and they wanted it fucking soon. Flash forward to the RE3 remake announcement. I was fucking pumped, brother. I played the shit out of RE2 at this time. I fucking 100%ed that shit. I was so excited. I was ready to go. This was everything. Everyone keep talking this up. I was like, yes, I finally get to see it. Nemesis. I'm so fucking pumped for Nemesis. The moment the game came out, I streamed it immediately on my Twitch channel, and honestly, I had a great time. It was a pretty okay game. Yeah, I thought it was really short, and it wasn't as good as 2, but I had a good time playing it, and I felt good after playing it. So then I looked on the internet after playing it to see what everyone else thought, and holy fucking shit, you guys hated it. I'm checking out all these fucking things, and everyone's saying, oh, this is a botched attempt at the remake. Oh, man, this isn't even half the game RE3 was. And I'm like, oh. How fucking good's the original? Oh my god. So after hearing how great RE3 original was compared to RE3 remake, I did the only thing a sane person like myself could do, and I marathoned the entirety of the Resident Evil series on my Twitch channel. Archive's still available. And I finally got to experience these games for the first time. After playing through RE1 remake and RE2 OG for the first time, I was having a fucking blast, and that made me even more hyped for 3, because people kept fucking talking about how great 3 was. And after playing it, all I can say is, you fuckers lied to me, I'm taking you to court. What the fuck, man? After all this talk, I thought I was getting like a video game made from the balls of Jesus Christ himself. Now, I'm not saying this is like a fucking trash game with no right to be around. That's Code Veronica. Fight me. But I am saying people on the internet overrated the fuck out of this bad boy. So instead of making super articulate points like a reviewer would, I'm gonna talk about this the only way a dumbass on the internet can. I'm gonna rant about random shit that pissed me off. Let's go! The video location never actually changes the video, so, just pretend we went somewhere else, okay? Like, it would be nice if you... Yep. Cool. Okay, to start off, I'd like to say there are going to be moments where I compare this game to the remake, which is only the case because of how bad the backlash for the remake was. Normally, I don't like to compare old games to the standard of newer games, but everyone's already doing that when they put these two against each other, so fuck it, I'm doing it too. Eat shit. To start off, a really big, dumb debate that happened with this game was Jill's fucking outfit. Now, I'm not saying fucking everyone is involved in this debate, but everyone that was is a fucking idiot. Anyone who believes a fucking tube top and a miniskirt's a good idea for a zombie apocalypse is a moron. And the original story that she was coming back from, like, clubbing with buddies, and that was her clubbing attire, is stupid. Why is she clubbing? Why the fuck is she going clubbing? After RE1? Like, you... After RE1, you're like, you know what, that's about it for me. No more caring about what Umbrella's doing, no more caring about zombies. I found all these secrets of all this stuff. My city's in danger. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna go clubbing with the fam. That's what I'm gonna do. That just makes Jill look like a moron and just irresponsible, honestly. I'd much rather take, like, the paranoid Jill from the remake, who's just, like, stuck in her apartment due to, like, house arrest because Umbrella's monitoring her, and she can't even fucking, like, eat properly because of how fucking stressed and, like, broken down she is from the mansion incident that should have, like, traumatized anyone. But fuck it, you know, I guess I just want my characters to be human. Also, I'm not saying originally designing her like that is a big issue. The problem is starting a debate over it being changed. It isn't a big thing to fight about. The new version's totally fine. Shut the fuck up or I'm calling Iron Man. Also, since we're on the topic of design, I keep seeing shit like, oh, the new Nemesis design looks so goofy. It looks dumb. He looks silly. Fucking compared to... You see this fucking goon? Fucking hell, man. He looks so stupid. Everyone's like, man, I was so afraid of this guy as a kid. Man, kids are afraid of everything. I was afraid of everything. I was fucking afraid of Sue from Inuyasha because she had big eyes. It really didn't take much. For today's standards, he looks like a fucking dumbass. This dumb tendril neck things and his no-lip having ass. Yeah, the new Nemesis wears a fucking trash bag and probably violates like 1 billion fashion codes. But you know what? That doesn't excuse this fucker's look either, okay? They both look pretty fucking dumb. Love me or hate me for it, Nemesis looks like a fucking idiot. Also, I've seen people yell about, like, you know, the final form not being as impactful or cool looking. What is wrong with you? The final Nemesis form has a really sick concept. I really like it. Like, he's broken down, he's busted up, he sees another tyrant, he's like, I'm gonna eat my brethren, I'm gonna become big, ugly Nemesis, blah, blah, blah. And then he eats up, and it's like, oh cool, big upgrade time. What the fuck is this? That's just mush. That's mush, baby. That's mush idiot little fuck guy. So many people bitch about the new Nemesis forms, but you okay with this? Look at this fucking guy. Really? Well, I hope you enjoyed him because I'm putting him in a fucking trash compactor. Also, a little transitional moment here. This has nothing to do with like design of the game at all. But there's this really weird moment at the beginning where like Jill just blows up out of her apartment. What happened? Why is that the beginning? There's no cool beginning. She's just What the fuck is that? The remake has like this like cool like chase scene. Nemesis is like, I'm gonna get you. And this one's just, bah! It's me, Jill Valentine. Hello and welcome to my show. What the fuck is this? That shit's fucking hilarious. Alright, this next part's more for like a minority of RE fans, but I already recorded all this footage and I don't want to let it go to waste. So fuck you. I'm gonna take care of this anyways because I want to put in the video. So hey, let's talk about outdated mechanics. First, let's talk about fixed camera for a brief bit. Fixed camera can be good. I firmly believe that RE1 Remake has just stunning, stellar shots using the fixed camera that really provide atmosphere and make everything feel more impactful. However, in this game, it's just frustrating and plain to look at. It just doesn't work. And that's probably because it's more of a product of its time, but it's 2021 and we have a new version, so I can complain about it. Also, pre-rendered backgrounds, I have no real big problem with them. I mean, I'm a bit nostalgic towards some things like Ocarina of Time having them. I always thought they looked pretty okay. There's that one shot with like the couple together, they're dead. I thought that looked really good, but you know, we have a new version that's not pre-rendered and looks fucking stunning, so you can't compare them. One is just infinitely better. So we made it through that part. Time to get angry. Take controls were made by Satan, and if you truly like them over the controls of the remake, you should feel bad, and you are bad! Good fucking god, dude, this wasn't nearly as noticeable in RE2, the original, but like, in this one, I fucking hate these controls. Enemies are actually pretty fucking fast, and Nemesis sprints like the fucking wind. And normally that's like, oh, you know, okay, well, I'll just outmaneuver them. You can't, it's tank controls! Enemies are decently fast, but at least somewhat avoidable, but Nemesis is the real problem here. This isn't the case of him being like, you know, scary or really hard to beat. No, he just has better mechanics than you. He controls better. He has the fucking action replay in this game. He turns smooth around corners, he can outrun you. He has this really clunky ass thing where he can fucking chain grab you and kill you. What the fuck is that? I want to be afraid of this asshole, I really do, but it's hard to when the only really scary thing he has going for him is, hey, what's up? I have better mechanics than you. Instead of being scary, every single interaction with him becomes, oh god, time to show why poor focused tank-based controls don't work in an action-paced environment. They try to somewhat remedy this with the dodge system, but like, it's fucking garbage. It's not like overly terrible, but it has two core problems. Sometimes Jill just kind of dodges into an attack, I guess, because she felt like it. She just wanted to get hit. I don't know what the fuck that's about. That's a weird choice. But the other problem is if you're facing an enemy like Clocktown Nemesis, who can do like 2 hits in a row, you can only dodge one. There'll be this little like cooldown in between dodges where you can't really do anything and he'll just hit you then. Like, what the fuck was the point of the dodge? You dodge one, he just smacks you right after. That's stupid. So thank you, dodge system. You failed the one job you had. This is also what makes the fights against Nemesis just fucking terrible, man. Now, of course, there's many occasions you have to avoid him or fight him, and we'll get to that later. But there's certain times where you do have to fight him. It's not a choice. And they're fucking terrible. The Clocktown fight isn't even a fight against Nemesis. It's a fight against this game's fucking mechanics. You have the fucking fixed camera messing with you. You have your shitty clunky movement that Nemesis just maneuvers around. You have the shit dodge that doesn't help you. Your only hope is a lot of healing items and a lot of grenade rounds. Which, by the way, is created by this stupid-ass reload tool that takes up fucking inventory space. I don't miss that shit in the remake. Then there's the Dead Factory fight where you have to hit these fucking acid switches and the fixed camera fucks with you and the aiming fucks with you and he's hitting you with these long-ass tentacle things where you can grab you from a distance, and it's stupid, and it's so fucking dumb, and then adding on to it, there's a time frame. You have to beat it within a time frame. Fun! Then there's the last fight, which is push blocks and Nemi go boom. I really don't see what you guys find so great about this. Please tell me. I want to know. Also, it's hard to find this guy scary when after he gets beat up, he just like slowly walks into the fire and he's like, oh shit, that's a fire, as he's dying. Like, what the fuck was that? Why is he so stupid? How am I supposed to be afraid of this dumb goon? What a fucking goofball. Moving away from gameplay mechanics and fights, I'm going to talk just a wee bit about characters. Okay, hear me out. Brad sucks. I've heard things about like Brad being used more in the original and they got kind of shafted by the remake. Man, he died buying time for you to escape from zombies in the remake. I respect that. He got a little nibble in both versions that kind of fucked him over. But in the remake, he's like, all right, I'll buy you time. And the original, he's like, run, Jill, we're gonna die. And then he gets skull fucked by Nemesis. Why the fuck is this considered a better death? In comparison to his sacrifice in the remake, this death is infinitely worse. He just dies randomly for no purpose. Now, I'm not like super against random deaths for no purpose in video games. Like, it's not something I like crusade against or care that much about. But if you're comparing the two, this is just infinitely worse. This served no purpose. We know Nemi's searching for stars because Brad already told us. We didn't need to show him getting attacked by Nemi. It's okay. Why is him being a bitch and dying like that better than him dying to save one of his friends? Subscribe and leave a comment to tell me. This guy's just not as fun in this game. He just isn't a guy I care about. He's just another fucking goon with like occasional wooden moments of emotion. Plus, look at him. Come on. Come on. Now look at him. I know you might like this version more, and that's fine, whatever, but I'm feeling petty today, so I don't actually care. Now watch this idiot get smacked. Now this next bit is a huge part of why people don't like the RE3 remake, and to a degree, I completely understand and also agree. RE3 remake is pretty freaking short, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's a lot of cut content. Hell, the main reason I wanted to play this game is because everyone told me how much content was cut, and I wanted to see what it was. I wanted to see how great it was, because people were hyping it up so much, and how great the things that were cut were, and how it really lacks from the game when you cut that part. I think you guys once again hyped this one up a little bit too much, huh? Now let me just say I would have loved to see this stuff remade. That would have been really cool to add more content to the remake. But as it stands in comparison, I don't really care that it was cut. I'm gonna start with the clock tower area that was cut, because everyone acts like this is the biggest fucking thing to be cut and it's such a big deal. Dude, with how much you guys talked about it, I thought you'd be in the clock town for half the fucking game. You're barely in here. You step in for a little bit, go, ooh, little clock puzzle, boom, hospital time. I really thought there'd be more to this area, but honestly, if it wasn't overhyped online, I think I would have enjoyed this area a lot more. It was pitched to me as more than it was. Speaking of overhyping though, let's talk about the cut boss Gravedigger. A lot of people complain about this worm boy not being in the remake, so I was ready. I was so pumped to fight this guy. I really shouldn't have been pumped. He's so clunky and unfun. Either way, I will agree. I would have loved another boss in the remake. That would have been really freaking cool. But you guys hyped me up for a shitty worm. Also, this fight's another example of the camera just not helping at all. Why would it move you in an inoptimal position after being hit so he just hits you again? Why? Anyone who actually wants fixed camera to stay in these games must be thinking about moments in fucking RE1 remake and not this fucking game. Jesus Christ, man. This boss fight is spaced entirely around getting to these little spots and clicking these little switches before he can eat you, but the camera control makes it a fucking nightmare to get there. The second fight isn't really remarkable either. You wait for like the land to shift and these lamps like tip over slightly, and then you knock it over and the water's electrified and he like walks up and clunks into it and just goes like, oh, I'm dead. Why'd you go and hype this dummy up so much? You made it seem like I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some cool boss. It's a worm. It's a worm. It's just a dumb, stupid worm. Another content thing is mercenaries, which I don't actually care about, so I'm not gonna include that. Sorry, I don't really care. For me, these games are just about the actual like campaign you play. And I don't really care about the little extra bits. I'm fine without it, but I know for some people it's gonna be like, you know, a little bit upsetting, and I get that. That's cool, you know, understandable. I have no problems with you being upset about mercenaries not being there. That's totally okay. I'm just saying it's not something that really hits me really hard, and that's just a personal thing, but this entire video is a personal thing, so do I really care? The last thing I see people complain about, though, is the removal of the live selection feature. Admittedly, it's a fun concept, and honestly, I like the idea of varying your playthrough based on decisions you make, but only some of them are actually, like, big deal cutscene ones that change up how story stuff work. Other ones are just like, yo, you want to fight Nemesis or you want to run away? Which is fine, but, like, that's the whole game. That's basically what every decision you always make is. Couldn't you just decide that in gameplay without making a cutscene? It could have made more like cutscenes that actually have more impactful live selections. I don't know. That's me. Overall, they just kind of seem like something I don't really care about being cut. Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't hit that hard. Hell, even the last one's fucking pointless. You can choose to finish off Nemesis or leave Nemesis. The difference is, if you kill Nemesis, you kill Nemesis. If you spare Nemesis, you kill Nemesis. So, what the fuck was the point? Fucking Telltale choices, man. Also, here's this random photo of a zombie I found. I don't know. He looks funny. I don't know. I just want to share that. Now it's time for the video to lose all sense of structure. From this point, I'm just going to talk about things I liked, and then probably some things that I didn't like or I felt like the reaction was too unreasonable to. To start, I have no problem with the overall story, but that's shared between both versions primarily. I will say one thing the remake didn't have that the original had was the opening monologue by Jill. Makes me feel good. There's also this neat shot where like a bug man walks up silently behind you as you're like taking up some handgun ammo, you know? And I really like that. That's a cool way to use the fixed camera instead of just making it aggravating all the time. It's just a shame that isn't how it is throughout the entire game. This moment made me give the game a nice little thumbs up. See, I can praise the game too. I can like it too on occasion. Like, you know, there's things that are fine. Please don't dox my name and address because you really like the video game. Also, the lab at the end of RE3 Remake does not hit me as hard because we already saw that in RE2. Like, that's just that again. It's not as fresh, you know? It's not as unique. But in RE3 Original, I feel like the Dead Factory serves a much better final zone, basically. I like it. It's got like this cool, gross look, which fits the final showdown with this disgusting fuckboy. That said, it has the annoying water sample puzzle, so it loses 346 points from Snuddly Puff House. Also, speaking of which, I like puzzles. I like that weird RE puzzle shit. I'm a big fan. This game has a lot more of that, and they kind of took it out of the remake. I would have liked a lot more of these puzzles to be in the remake. That would have been pretty cool. Add more puzzles. Do it. Just put more puzzles in the new games. I'm totally okay with it. But if you put that fucking water sample puzzle, so help me God, I'll beat the shit. I also really like that if you choose to fight Nemesis, you actually get rewarded for it, you know, like instead of just running away. If you beat him, you get like better weapons and health. And I think you can do that. You can do that in the remake too, but I think it's only like once or twice. It's not as impactful. Where in this one, it's a constant thing. You can always make that choice. And it's nice to be rewarded for being like stupidly brave. Though it doesn't change the fact that fighting Nemesis, and like action-like enemy with these horror game tank controls, is like fighting a fucking Bloodborne boss with Dark Souls fucking high equip load. It just doesn't work. It doesn't flow. Also, I neither hate this or like this, but there's this like weird jarring cut when it goes to like watching the Adravel commercial, and it's like. It's hilarious to look at. It's weird. There's nothing important about this. I just wanted to share. This is fucking funny to me. Speaking of random things to talk about, Nikolai's fake death is ridiculous. He died. He fucking died. That was point blank. He exploded. That man is dead. He is dead. There is no fucking other way. He is gone. Now for some final little complaints to share. Marvin is a corpse in this game for some reason, or like at least the zombies aren't eating him for some. Why aren't they eating him? Like, you know, if he's dead already, yeah, I get it. But he's in RE2. So he's alive. Why aren't they fucking eating him? What's happening? I don't know why, but this is also something to do with RE2 Original. I don't like how these games did Marvin. He's a fun addition to the remakes, and he kind of does nothing in the OGs. And it's not really important, but I'm being petty today. I told you that. I can say whatever I want. Speaking of Marvin, the RPD he's located in doesn't really matter in this game. You just kind of walk in, grab an item, and leave. It's like... It's there, I guess. It felt more grand in the remake. There was like nice nods, like things like Carlos seeing like Leon's first day and stuff, and that was pretty cool. But here it's just like, yo, that's the RPD. Yo, that's the place from last game. Oh, and the hospital's there. It's not really anything neat. I wouldn't even talk about it, but the hospital in the remake was pretty neat. Like, it had this spooky-ass environment, and it was the only time in both the remake and the original that I was actually kind of afraid. It felt cool, and I dug it. Also, the hunters in the hospital just kind of like pop up. They're like, so, buddy? I don't like them. I don't like them at all. If you want me to like them, fuck you. I'll eat your bones. Ooh, and final little gripe about this game. The last one. People's complaints about them removing Jill Valentine's final line against Nemesis and changing it. So many people were like, oh, they took away her final line. That's the best line of my little childhood, Bibby O'Bame. It was the best part. She's so cool. Here's the fucking final line.
You want stars? I'll give you stars.
What the fuck does that even mean? Is she like implying he's seeing stars? Because that's like an impression people like say when you concuss some motherfucker. Does she know that shooting someone in the face does not make them see stars? It fucking kills them? Or does showing someone stars mean like, I'm a member of stars, I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking face? Either way, it's an odd line, but cool. Let's fixate on that getting removed. Jesus fucking Christ, man. So at the end of the day, if you don't get the point of this video, that makes sense. I didn't make this to try to convince people to hate an older variant of a game or to argue with people who prefer that one over the newer one. This shit has just been on my mind for way too long after being overhyped for something that underdelivered. Resident Evil 3 isn't a bad game, it just isn't God's greatest gift to gaming. The important thing to remember for me and everyone out there is that don't get too hyped, basically. Keep your expectations low and you'll always come out happy. Also, if you want to see a video that isn't like just some dumbass in a chair yelling about this game and you actually want to see some good aspects and someone who loves the game, check out Sphere Hunter's video. It's a good time. And to my 8 subscribers who are still around after the end of this video, thank you so much for supporting me. I've been JimmyBim, and I think I've been stabbed. What the help!